I've dedicated my life to the fight for liberation.
As the First Lady of this church, I dedicated myself. I need help.
All that coin should be coming to us.
Do you remember the parable of the talents?
Of course I do.
Well, hello, everyone. I see people are already started joining us in the chat. Emma Ansah here, and I am here with the star-studded cast of my new favorite TV series, Sundays After Church. I'm so excited to have you. We already spoke. We're speaking again, and we're going to keep speaking. So thank you so much for taking the time to join. And before we get started, I just want to say hello to some people that are here. Aileen, Shabbat Shalom to you. Hey, Teresa, thanks so much for tuning in. Radical Resistance, he says, B1. Thank you so much for tuning in. And all right, let's get started. First question is I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves, starting with Eric Brown, who is the executive producer of this wonderful series, and then also talk about what drew you to the role and what about it made you say, I got to do this.
Again, my name's Eric Brown, writer, producer of Sundays After Church. And the reason I wanted to create the story is I wanted, because of the kind of the socioeconomic situation that Black people in the diaspora are in, I wanted to create a vehicle to show what we could do if we really work together. And then the central point of that would be the nexus point of using the church as a power base to uplift the overall Black community, and how you would possibly go about doing it, but it's a very more dramatic or darker approach to it.
Who wants to go next?
I'm Letitia Argola. I play the First Lady, Sandra Clayton.
Tell us what drew you to this role. What was it about it that made you say, I got to do this? Sign me up.
Well, it was a blessing. It was offered to me. I worked with Eric Brown and Cinnamon Brown Entertainment on a short, and Ethan Evans, he was the director of it also. It was called Cuffed. And while we were doing Cuffed, which is on Tubi, Eric said, I have a role for you. You would be perfect as the First Lady, Sandra Clayton, for this film I'm going to make based on one of my books.
So when you got the script and you read it, did you say, oh, yes?
Yes. Based on the description, when he told me what she was like and what the story was about, I was like, oh, yes.
And boy, did you ever do a bang up job, sis.
Thank you. Thank
Ronnie,
you.
Pastor Clayton.
Hello. I am Ronnie Hudson II, and I play Pastor Gerald Clayton. When this role was brought to me as well by the beautiful Letitia there, she introduced the role to me, and after having talked to Eric, and saying that they were looking for somebody to play a pastor, to be able to play her husband in this film. So it was a great, like I said, opportunity for us to connect and actually finally get a chance to work together on screen. So I immediately was bought into it from that perspective. But after reading the script and talking to Eric and talking to Ethan about who Gerald was, and the two sides, the many sides, the many layers of who Gerald is, it just was an exciting opportunity to be able to play that and be able to bring that to the screen. And so yeah, I had to jump at it immediately.
AJ.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's AJ Blackman. I played the role of Deacon Blackman in the amazing TV series Sundays After Church. So what drew me to this role, originally I did the audition, but it wasn't to be a deacon. It was to play the gangster who got killed in the first episode. So I did the audition, and they hit me up. They was like, "Hey man, we want you to do another audition." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I did that, and I get a call like, "We want you to play this character here." I said, "Okay, that sounds good." And the reason And I love that character. And it also helps me to portray, because typically I'm always playing the role of somebody's abusive husband, ex-husband, crazy boyfriend. But I'm grateful for those roles as well. But this role as Deacon Blackman, like the great director Ethan said earlier, it allows me to show my range more. In which I just love this TV show. I love everything about it, and I love the whole cast.
And boy, did you ever show your range. I was scared of you. Okay. Not scared, scared. You scared me. Oh, Deacon Ethan Evans. Well, Ethan isn't your name, but you are Deacon Evans. You're up.
Yeah, so Ethan X. Evans, I am the director of Sundays at the Church, and I play Deacon Evans. And I worked with Eric on his past projects, so Toxic, Cuffed, and then the pilot for Sundays at the Church. But when he came to me with the script and the synopsis, I was like, oh hell yeah! Especially when he told me the backstory, what it was all about. I was like, yeah, I gotta do this. Now, how I ended up becoming Deacon Evans, I can't quite remember. I think we just needed somebody, and I was like, you know what?
I'll do it.
Divine intervention.
Right.
But and also just your role is fantastic too, and you all are so good at it. So I'm gonna just talk about what part of your role is a lot like you and what part isn't. I know, Ronnie, you're playing Pastor Clayton, and it's like, whoo, intense. So is there any part of it, because I know you're like more of a happy-go-lucky, jovial person in real life, but is there anything about that character that was similar to you?
No, I would say I'm pretty intense as well. I've been in church, like I said, my entire life since I was 12. So like I said, I am a advocate of the attending the church. There is a benefit I see in gathering together with like-minded individuals. But as far as that part of me, like I said, I think that's the part that is the aura that I give off a lot, that I hear of pastor, that type of thing. I get called that just in general, just in the street. A lot of people will be like, man, are you a pastor? You a deacon? You in the church? I'm like, nah, man, I just, I go to church. I sing on the praise team. I'm not I'm not behind the pulpit. That's not what I do. But people feel that, I guess, from my aura from that instance. But I get cast a lot as authoritative roles in like detectives, lawyers, fathers that, are like mean. Like my wife always tells me whenever she watches all my shows, why you always yelling? Like, why you always so mad in everything that you do? And I'm just like, man, that's a good point. Like, it really seems like a lot of the things that I end up doing, I have some level of authority. So I will say that probably is the most like Gerald that I am from that perspective. But I think just as a whole, like I said, playing that character, there's a lot more to him than just that. And so that's what really drew me to it and allowed me to really, dig deeper and show those different facets of who Gerald is.
Did you at any time feel like it was difficult to play certain parts? I'm trying not to spoil it, to play certain parts or certain parts of that character. Did you find it difficult in any way?
Nah. I think, like I said, it's the challenge of it all. I mean, that's what makes it fun. I really leaned into all of it because whenever I get a chance to play things and do things that I don't get to do on a daily basis, that's where the joy in it comes in. Like I said, I get to actually act and really, really get into my bag and learn some different behaviors and study some different psychology of humans and what makes them tick. So that's the beauty of it. That's where the fun is. So I don't look at it as being hard or whatever. There are some challenging pieces of it, but it's all fun to dive in and figure it out.
Man, I tell you, I would have lost money. The way that you played this role, I would have literally thought that was you. Like, literally thought that was you. So seeing you here laughing and all that, it's like, really? How about you, First Lady Sandra Clayton?
So Sandra and I are very similar, actually. Sweet, kind, just naturally, caring, compassionate. In my other life, I'm a registered nurse. So,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
giving, I'm caring, I take care of people, that just comes natural. But I mean, there's always more than one side to people.
That is true. And your character has another side, and that other side was brought out when, it looked like you may be losing some things that you didn't want to let go of.
Exactly.
So would you say that that's a side of you as well in real life?
Yes. And I'm very quick to defend people that I love or that I care about. Like I'm kind of like a protector as well, and sometimes I'll put my neck out on the line for somebody else before I do it for myself. So, but when it comes to what's important to me, yeah, I'll do what I have to do.
Mama Bear steps in. I'm guilty of the same thing, by the way, so I can relate. How about you, AJ? Because you were scary as Deacon Blackman. Like I said, I was scared of you. So is there any part of that character that, you is a part of you, or was it difficult to play that role?
Ms. Young, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm more so goofy. After watching me play that character, you wouldn't believe it, but I'm more so goofy. Like you'll see certain clips throughout the series of me just saying something randomly or just smiling and laughing. That's actually me. And it wasn't well, it was a challenge playing this role because like I said, I'm always casted as this lovey-dovey, light-skinned, pretty boy looking Michael Ealy, whatever, however they see me. So digging down into this character, I broke him down. I understood that at this point in time, after reading the script, I wanted my character to be scary, and intimidating, but not just from raising my voice and walking in with authority. I want people to see my character and understand that by the way that I'm smiling or this stylish, unserious, goofy look on my face tells them that okay, it's something off about him, but what is he gonna do? That's the kind of scary I want to place in without yelling and walking in with authority.
Yeah, you didn't have to yell. Like for me, I was like, I didn't need to yell at all. Your facial expression, everything was like scary, but so well done. Now, Deacon Evans, you're wearing more than one hat. So how was the process for you being director and then also acting? And is there any parts of you as that you tapped into that was similar in your character?
I mean, so wearing the multiple hats on this set was a little bit. It was simple because I had an amazing, support group. I had my a dope AD DP that understood the vision when I told him, like, this is what I'm kind of trying to get across. But as far as the character of Deacon Evans, yeah, when I was younger, definitely, hitting somebody upside the head was not something I would shy away from,
So there was a little bit of why it was a little bit simpler, right?
Yeah.
Aside from a wonderful cast.
Right. But as far as like taking the director head off and then going into that role, it was easy because that part I just tapped into who I used to be when I was younger. But it wasn't hard at all.
And again, I mean, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it was just so well done.
Thank you.
And honestly, everybody was so natural. I would lose money, like I said, to think that there was any part of you all that were like this or not like this. More importantly, to the people in the chat, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those questions in there. In the meantime, we'll keep going. So My next question is, without giving away too much, you can as much as you can give away. Which upcoming moment had you like so shook when you filmed it? Any one of you can answer. Even you, Eric, when you were writing it, or were you like, ooh?
AJ scene was one of those.
Is there anything you can tell us without spoiling it?
I mean, that was just stuff. I mean, it took me back to where I grew up. My grandfather taught me how to do that stuff. So we did that on hogs. That was just what we did. So I wrote it verbatim with the way my grandfather told me to do it. Wow. So that was just something we did in the South. Every year we would do that. So I wrote it with my grandfather's voice. And then AJ has a heavy Southern accent, so it was perfect. So I was like, oh yeah. So that was like, it brings it back. Like my grandfather talked to me, like, you got to mix this here, and then you got to take the razor blade and do what you got to, you know, and
wow.
That scene was, yeah, people that are watching, you just need to, you got to watch it to really be able to understand what we're saying right now.
Yeah. So that's where squeal like a pig comes from. That's where it literally comes from. Wow. That's how the hogs sound when you do it. So.
Oh my goodness.
His subject.
I'll say for me. Oh, go ahead, AJ.
So that scene, that specific scene, was the scene that where I knew I had to just give it all, lay it on the line. You know, the intimidation factor, the putting fear in him, letting him know what I was gonna do. The story time, the storytelling. You know, that scene literally, it didn't break me, but it put me in the mindset as a method actor. Okay, you gotta slow down at some point after you get done filming this, because as I was filming it, I got so into the films, into the character. You know, I got a knife rubbing on my face. I didn't cut my face a little bit, but that didn't show.
Oh my goodness!
True story.
Yeah, it was hot. So I'm like,
that's what you call method.
Stayed in character, just kept going. But that scene literally, it took a lot out of me. Mentally, not physically, just mentally, it took a lot out of me. But I enjoyed doing it. You know, Eric, like I say, he's a great writer, and I feel like that specific scene was for me with the Southern accent. You know, me growing up deer hunting and cleaning animals. Something my grandma taught me, as well as his people did. So I just really enjoyed that scene. That was the most amazing scene I've done thus far. I'm not gonna lie.
I enjoyed it too. I it was amazing. And sorry, family, but you know what? You gotta watch it. You just gotta watch it. We can't give it all to you. You gotta watch it. Amazon Prime, Apple TV. You gotta watch it. So next question. This series, it really touches on power, faith, and secrets. What conversations do you hope that people take away and have when they watch this series? We'll start with you, Eric, seeing as you produced it.
One, personal accountability. Second one is making sure that you want to uplift the community. You're not extractive. And so that's what I grew up in the church, and I noticed that everyone seemed to be taking. They weren't really pouring back in. That's why the church in America is dying. The Black church is dying. You know,
Canada too.
Closing down, people don't go, and it's because you can only extract from people some more without feeding them something that they're gonna walk away. So that was our base until integration happened, and so we've kind of gotten away from that. So I want to bring those conversations of accountability back. And what are you really here to do? Are you here for yourself, or are you here for the community? And I want that to bring that front and center when people start to see it and really discuss it. Is these pastors and these leaders have to start to be called out on the stuff that they're not doing that's supposed to uplift the people and help us all level up as a group. And if you don't do that, that's a problem for me.
Did you tap into any pastors when you were creating this and writing this? Were there any specific pastors? You don't have to name them,
Oh
but
man,
were there
multiple.
multiple, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The one. One locked us in. He wouldn't let us leave. He sounded just like R. Kelly when he sang, but he wouldn't open. He shut the church down until he got enough money in the plate to shut down the service. So he kept singing, sounding like R. Kelly. And I'm in college. I'm like, listen to this crap. And he would not shut down the service until he got the money he wanted, so he could go to IHOP after the service was done.
This reminds me of, is it Marvin Sapp who said to close the doors?
Yeah, this was in the '90s. Yeah,
Close the doors.
Close the doors. Close
Yeah.
the doors, he said. I was just like, I was appalled by this. But yeah.
Then I went to another church in Atlanta where the woman was asking, this was in the '90s also. And I'm going, and the lady's like asking people how much money you got in your pocket to put it together and put it in the plate. And this is not, these people don't have a lot of money, but I've seen that over and over again. It was in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Then I know the pastors that were, sexualizing people, abusing people. I've seen that too. So I'm really not making anything up. It's just, at my age and seeing all the stuff I've seen, it's like, but then again, I've also met very good pastors along the way, but they never get big. They never blow up. So it's always the people that, have a heart for people, just never get the backing or the push they need. It's always, I call them pimps in the pulpit. That's what I call them.
Pulpit pimps. Yeah, because a lot of them, they're not really on there preparing you to meet God. They're not. They're on there talking about prosperity, sow your seeds, all this other stuff. And so it seems like a lot of you have grown up in church. So have you seen any of these things that you've, in part of the characters you've played within the storyline? Have you seen those things in the churches that you go to or grew up in?
Yeah, I can speak to that from the Pastor Clayton perspective. Like I said, I've been in church since I was 12. I'm 40 years old now, and I've seen it all. I have seen everything that Eric has described. Pastors that are there, obviously, every chance they get, they're asking for some type of money, trying to get more and more and more. I've seen the very poor people, the Black church, the community flock into these doors looking for help, essentially, and they're pouring in all of the last dimes that they have, because this pastor said, if you give this today, you're going to be blessed. And then, a month, 2 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, they're still in that same situation, coming back to the same church again, trying to get the same little money. There's been no increase. There's no growth. There's nothing that's happening. Meanwhile, those pastors are driving their Audis and living in their big houses and mansions and doing all this kind of stuff. And so it has a bad stigma when you look at it from that perspective. But then also you have the ones that are truly doing the work, that are, even though, because offering and so forth in a church is required, you have to do that. I mean, it's a nonprofit organization. You have to have that kind of stuff. You got to pay the lights. You got to pay bills. It's a business just like anything else. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just more so the way they perceive it and the way they actually put it out there and how they actually use it. There are a lot of churches that are actually out here in the community, knocking on doors, doing things, actually building up their communities, but those don't get the spotlight. Those don't get shined. The light on that effort doesn't get shined on. It's only on the bigger ones and everything else. We see all of that on TV and such. And so as a whole, that's where, the church gets a bad name. You go to certain churches and you deal with those types of things. You have the pastors that are cheating on their wives. You have the pastors that's living double lives. You have all of the people that's in the pulpit that are, all involved in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, I've seen it all. So it's just a matter of, like I said, being able to find a place that fits you and find somebody that's actually doing the right things and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then if we could all come together and truly try to do that, the church could kind of get back to what it's intended to be.
Yeah, I always say a lot of these churches are just peppered with histrionics and pageantry and theatrics. That's why you have people like Drewski who'd give him material to create a whole skit, and then pastors will be big mad that he did that. And my thing is, if you're mad about it, then you must be that, because there's no reason for you to not just laugh at it, right? And you just talked about pastors having affairs, so I'm just gonna slide on over to First Lady Sandra Clayton, because what Eric Brown did so brilliantly is that he turned it around and he made it the woman, for a change, who is the one that's in a salacious affair with what we call, or I call, sexual chocolate. And so first I'll start with Eric and just explain why you chose to make the woman be the one that's, involved in this controversy.
I noticed when I started writing my books, because I needed to write women-centric content, I needed the protagonist to always be a female that they could identify with. And I know women that are first ladies and their husbands were always cheating on them. That's what I noticed. Usually well put together, pretty ladies, but the husbands are just cheating on them. But I just noticed that there was a certain amount of neglect that they had to accept with that role. And so I wanted to flip that and make the first lady the protagonist, where she's actually, at the core of it, is a good person caught up in something that she didn't really understand, wants certain real emotional connection that she wasn't getting, so she could be relatable, so she's not a villain. But then to flip it so that you can say, oh, and the women understand, like, sister, I get it. So I keep hearing that. I understand. I don't condone it, but I understand. That's what you wanted to have there, so that the women can dial into it and really follow the story along from her perspective as she learns how this church really operates. And then she has to make decisions about how far along does she want to go with this.
Right. And then, in this series, it was the traditional coming to her and saying, we're going to marry you off. Like, we want you to have this husband. And the husband, played by the wonderful Ronnie, Pastor Gerald Clayton, has a lot of secrets. I'm not going to tell him what. You got to watch it. But there are a lot of secrets. And this is why Sister Sandra was like, I need to get me some. Like, you're not saying anything. So, and the thing is, this probably happens in church too, a lot more than we think, where the woman is the one that's, getting hers, if you will.
getting ministered to.
Envy of all first ladies.
Exactly. All first ladies. Have you
I'm the envy of all first ladies.
Listen, unfortunately, Patrick isn't here, but if you saw him, you would understand why she's saying that.
He's in the chat right now.
Patrick, he is in the chat right now.
Oh, he's in the chat. Oh, there he is. Yes, Patrick.
He all right.
So have you guys been approached by any fans saying, anything about your characters? Like, for example, First Lady Sandra, Pastor Clayton. Have any of you been approached, and what do they say to you when they, is anybody saying, hey, I can relate to that? Or any pastors writing and saying, listen, Eric, cut this out?
I've had people who've watched the show say, okay, like, they felt like I was really lucky to work with Amagashi.
Yes, I agree.
And they were like so into the love story, but they were like, if something, without giving it away, if something doesn't change what happened at the end, I'm not going to watch anymore. Something different needs to happen. It doesn't need to be how it ended.
The investment. That's what we want. We want people to be that invested.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Chauncey, they needed to be a different outcome. or they vowed not to watch, but they will.
Oh, my goodness.
Mama said she's been called a villain. So I was going to spit that out there for her. She just said that.
Well, it usually is the case, though, when women are the ones that are cheating or whatever. We're more villainized than men tend to be, So So it's funny that they're saying it better turn out the way I need it to turn out. Okay. Otherwise we're going to have a problem. I am like canceling. What about the Deacon Squad? Because I said this before. The Deacon Squad really blew me away because I had said it in our last interview, and I'm going to say it again, is always preceding what you're going to do with scripture. And I still struggle with that. And I know that it is a thing for sure, but I had never seen it like that. So have you guys been approached by people or even deacons saying, hey, cut that out? You're giving us a bad name.
I know.
So go ahead, Rick.
I know Clutch because he's not here. Brian, a lot of people have called him cold and slightly creepy.
He was scary. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
And the reason I use the scriptures with the deacons, because even in American slavery, it was justified through the Bible. So they would preach you every Sunday, obey your masters. And I'm like, okay, you twisting the word to suit your agenda. So why can't this church do the same thing to fulfill its agenda? Why not? The Catholic Church has done it. Every religion twisted to fit their agenda. So why can't we do? Why not? Especially if you're trying to help people, why not? So that's why I went there with.
Okay. Well, I tell you, it's one of those things where it's like a learning lesson, because even though like for us watching, we're like, oh, this is far fetched. Like, come on, this doesn't happen. It does. It does. But the good thing about it, though, is that you can be agnostic, you can be atheist, you can be Christian, cat, whatever, and you would still get something out of this series. It's still entertaining. It's still, it still taps into all markets. Like, it doesn't matter what your faith is. Yeah. It's so well done that way, where it's like people don't. That's why I keep saying whenever I'm promoting it, it's like, it's not what you think. It's really not what you think. So you don't want to miss it. I'm just going to show this comment from Ty. Ty says he prefers a dad bod. So I would assume this is referring to Amagashi. And Ty also says that he's been called a villain. So Ty, you've been called a villain, huh? That's
Mama Ty is Sandra. She plays Sandra's mother.
Yes.
That's who Ty is.
Yes. She been called a villain. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would call her a villain. What do you think?
She's pragmatic.
Yeah.
And I know a woman that happened to. I know a pastor whose wife passed away, and he needed a new wife. And the Deek Trustee Board put out an all points bulletin and found this woman in her mama's house somewhere in the deep South that was 40 years old, have never been married, no kids, and arranged the marriage. And it worked.
And that's the thing too, because if you go according to the scriptures, you're not even supposed to really divorce, right? You stay and you deal with it. So Sister Sandra was like, I'm staying, but
I need some amenities.
I think she was just looking out for her daughter, like any mother would.
Seeing a great opportunity.
Yeah, she's opportunistic with anything.
Yeah. Opportunistic is the word.
Yeah. They approached her. I mean, they came to her. So hey,
and she made sure
exactly. And Mom was there to say, "Do it, do it." Ty, you were there saying, "Do it."
And with like royalty, because I wanted this story to be almost like dynastic. And in Europe and in other places around the world, these marriages are arranged. These are power dynamics, that this family marries this family because they have a certain amount of wealth or recognition or reputation, and you want to consolidate power. And that's just what it is. And so this whole new thing of marriage for love is very new, but everything else was land, property, dynastic ties, increasing your wealth. So I'm just pulling back on that from the Black perspective of, if Black people stayed within our own culture and just did that stuff, networking, what we could, exponentially grow wealth-wise and power-wise if we did that. But we always want to go outside of the community. So it gets extracted. So I wanted to play on that because, like, for instance, I got the idea from the Mexican cartels. The Mexican cartels were killing each other so much that the leaders started making their kids marry each other so they could create a blood tie so they wouldn't kill each other. That was all business.
Wow.
That's going on right now in Mexico. So they're creating alliances and royal family type stuff in Mexico. Why not use it in the church? So,
Wow.
And you're right about the lack of unity in our community. Like
Yeah.
it's really, and it's something that also happens here in Canada as well. It's bad. And like to your point, and I always say this, is that the power that we have, if we were able to really come together, I mean, when you think about things that happen, even in the church, when everybody comes together, you literally see the power. And it's just something I wish that we can get to this point where we really are have knowledge of self and let go of this mentality that we have where the other side is better, and this side elevates you and your status goes up when you go over here. And it's so disheartening to me. It really is. But speaking about power, I'm going back to Pastor Gerald Clayton, because your character also wants to be in office. You want to get into the political realm, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And I really loved that part of it. So just talk a little bit, a little bit that you can share about that process of, why Pastor Gerald is willing to do whatever he has to do. And how does a pastor be in office at the same time?
Well, I mean, just like any other thing, like I said, I've seen local pastors have run for mayor and done those things, and they have to kind of balance their role in the city versus their role in church. Obviously, as you go up higher and higher in government levels, you depend on your assistant pastors and so forth to kind of manage the church and continue to build that up while you're gone doing what you got to do. And then if you got a deacon board like Pastor Gerald Clayton has, I mean, every pastor needs a deacon board like Pastor Gerald Clayton has. I mean, those guys,
indeed.
I'm talking about grassroots relationship, hands-on community outreach. That's what we do. So, but no, Pastor, like Eric talked about with this, the things that has gone on in his life that has led him to where he is today, the things that he has seen, it kind of has, I guess, created this, I guess, monster that he is, that wants to see our community prosper.
Yeah.
And so, as I think I said on the last call, we talked about power is currency in a way. So the more power that he can have, the more things that he can buy, the more things he can do for his community and be able to put people in position in places that he wants to be. So seeing the things that he has gone through, that is what kind of creates the path that he's on, to say, if I can get the power that I need, I can give my community and my people that are surrounding me, the ones that want to be a part of what we're trying to do, I can give them what they need.
And so I love that. Because if you're watching it, you're not really sure exactly, what Pastor Clayton's motive is here. Is it just about power, which we see happens with a lot of pastors right now, in the mega churches and stuff? They're more focused on power and money. So I'm glad that you kind of explained it that way, because then it kind of makes you feel like, okay, maybe Pastor Gerald is a little bit misunderstood, and there is some, there's some good motives around all of this stuff, right?
I think he's a lot misunderstood.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like
He
I said,
sure is.
Yeah, he's really misunderstood. But hey, it's one of those things. I think that's another thing that I share with Gerald in a way. Like my wife tells me that as well. When I get my mind focused on something, like there's not anything that's gonna get in my way to stop me from doing it in that moment. Like even if it's something as small as fixing something around the house, once I get in that mode, like it could be time to eat or whatever, I'm not going to stop until I'm actually done with it. So I think that's a similar trait that Gerald has, where he's focused on a goal,
Yeah.
and he's gonna see that goal through, and regardless of what distractions are coming into play, if you're gonna get in his way, you're gonna be dealt with, and that's just how it goes.
And you were a G. You're like, do this, make sure you get this done, or else, and I just loved it. I loved it. I loved the power. Do you think this series will change people's faith or strengthen it by forcing them to ask harder questions, or even look at what goes on maybe behind church, or actually even notice things? Because we go to church, we clap, we sing, we get a good word, we have our tambourines, and the pastor puts on a good performance and stuff, and we're like, oh, the preaching was so good, and and we listen to everything pastor has to say. And do you think now, with people seeing what goes on behind the scenes, that people may be like, in hindsight, I saw this thing happening, and now that makes sense to me? Do you think that this series does that?
I would hope that from now on, after watching it, people will view the first ladies as something more than an accessory, because they're human beings. Lots of times they're an accessory. They're arm candy. They're just, it's a partnership, but they forget that she's a whole person. She has feelings. She has her own life goals and everything. And while she's there to serve, she's still a person, and she has needs. And oftentimes in church, she's like, there's another person, her, in the show, who's after her husband. Lots of times first ladies have to deal with that all the time.
Oh, they sure do.
And they just have to take it. Whereas Sandra, she gonna do it.
I'm taking it. I'm gonna go take it elsewhere. That's what Sandra said.
But in real life, lots of times first ladies just smile. There's also a scene where, after a deep discussion, we're getting ready to film, and you see that she's a person. She goes from here to there. Lights, camera, action. These women are real people. And they have feelings, and they have needs, and they have desires, and they deserve to be respected. And when they have flaws, they don't deserve to be judged more than anybody else.
Agree. Absolutely. And you're right about first ladies. I mean, they do have to put up with a lot. They got to put up with, pastor having to be on calls and travel and talking to people at late night. And then you got to deal with the groupie women in the church that are just power hungry. And I've seen it too. My father's a pastor. My mother's gone through it. My sister's married to a pastor. And so it often also has, there's a little bit of a responsibility on pastor to make sure that, first lady is safe and respected and all that good stuff. So oftentimes they're putting on a facade big time. Like, there's a scene where Pastor Clayton and First Lady Sandra are sitting doing like a podcast. There's like an interview, and she's just like, I'm gonna just grin and bear it, even though and we see a lot of that. So this is the kind of stuff that maybe when people watch this series, they may be looking and like,
Yeah, she's more than an accessory. She's
exactly.
Yeah. And so everybody doesn't have a Chauncey. That's why I'm the envy of all first ladies.
Oh, the envy for sure, Amagashi. Big envy big time. The love scenes were really hot. What was it like for you filming those love scenes?
I'll let the manager talk since he hasn't spoken yet.
What? I wasn't.
Not you. I'm talking about Patrick.
Oh, he's on the road.
He just put an LOL in there. He's laughing out loud.
So then I'll talk then. Okay. So I told him whenever we get those kind of conversations, I'm gonna refer to the manager, which is him. But it was okay because so like I told you, I was already casted. When Eric casted him, then we started communicating. We live in different states. We started communicating, And then we figured, okay, just because we knew it was going to be, you got those kind of scenes. So when we arrived, we thought, okay, we're going to nail this. We got our roles. And so we go, I love this production company. When it's time to do intimate scenes and things like that, for rehearsal, they take you in another area so that you can rehearse without distraction and onlookers, right? So we're there with the director, Deacon Evans. And we go on to, he's like, okay, run it for me. Because we were already told you have to sell it. You have to sell it. So we do our little thing and we're like, yeah. And Director Evans said, I'm not buying it. We're like, what? What? So now we feel like crap. Eric said we have to sell it. And Evans is like, nope. So he was like, you guys need to do it. Practice intimacy thing, looking in each other's eyes. So Amagashi said, all right, look, we got to sell this. We promised Eric we were going to do it. He said, from this moment on, for the next few weeks, you're my girlfriend. I'm going to treat you like my girlfriend. And so we did everything together. When we weren't on set, we did everything together. So we got close so that when it was time to do those things, it's not weird. Like, oh, who's this guy touching me? Or why is this girl touching my face? Or whatever. We were comfortable with each other because anytime we weren't working, we were together.
I will say they sold that very well because the entire cast for a good bit thought that they were actually together. At some point. So
they left from that one session. They left one way and they came back a couple. And I was like, wait, did they really do? Did
they really hook up?
I'm like, hey, well, look, whatever, man. Like it worked. Whatever they did, it worked.
Absolutely.
Oh my! Those scenes were hot, and you got co-signed by your co-star, right, Chauncey. He said it was magical. So there you have it.
Yeah, and plus he's a really nice guy. He's a really nice person. So that made it. He's not a jerk. The way he looks, he could be an a-hole, but he's not. He's a nice person. So that made it. See, this is Letitia. Sorry. But he's not an a-hole. He's a nice person, which also made it easy because no matter how much you try to make chemistry, if somebody's a jerk, you can't do it, right? So both of us are nice people, so it worked out.
Yeah, you literally deserve an Oscar if the person's a jerk and you gotta pretend you love each other, right? It's like, right. And you hear some actors say, oh, their breath was so bad, it stank, and I just, but you would never know, right? So it's like, okay. But yeah, you guys did a great job. And Amagashi says, why, thank you, First Lady.
That's my buddy. We're friends outside of work, too. He just helped me take care of one of my girlfriends that lives in his area. He's a good person. Mm-hmm.
That's so nice. Dr. Vibe is here. Dr. Vibe says, greetings to you, Dr. Vibe. And y'all will be chopping it up with Dr. Vibe next. So I just wanted to ask if this story were happening in real life, which we know it does, like at a church down the street, let's say, do you think that people would speak up or stay silent after seeing this series?
Stay silent. They don't want to deal with the deacons. They definitely stay silent.
They don't want to deal with the deacons.
If this
that
happened,
part.
if this happened specifically, they would have to stay quiet because
Like, I want to say something so bad, but Deacon Blackman, I don't know. I don't want to say.
They want them to do a check-in, a home check-in.
Ministry. They will knock on your door.
Yeah.
Community building.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I think I agree with you. I don't think people would speak up. I think even oftentimes, even with like pastors and stuff, they just don't want the money to leave the church. So, everybody will stay silent. And then also a lot of people will just go along to get along. They'll go with what pastor said. Pastor said it. So it is what it is. I mean, pastors, bishops, whatever, the Pope, they're all held at a at a standard, like, Messiah complex, right?
Mhm.
So oftentimes, if it could be something in the scripture, and then if you say, but pastor, this is in the scripture, they'll be like, I know it's in the scripture, but this is what it is. So it wouldn't surprise me if everybody kind of just stayed silent, right? Like, just shh,
Yeah,
not a word.
that happened to me. I was invited to a homecoming or something. Turns out it was a cult. So I went there for a weekend, and it was the last day prophet of God. And it was the weirdest place I'd ever been. But he told me after he got there, when he was talking to me, he was trying to run game, like, because everyone sells everything and comes and joins his church and give him all the money, and he manages everything for you. But apparently he'd been having sex with a lot of women in the congregation, and he told me this, and I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, and I'm like, and so he was going through some of the married women in the church, and their husband, just having, and I'm like, the people didn't call him on it. I was there for like 2 days. I'm like, really? But they stayed. It was like shocking to see that they actually put up with it. So
I find that congregation members put up with a lot. I mean, there are things that go on in the church I can't even speak about, just for YouTube guidelines purposes, but it's unreal to me how much people will just do what a pastor says to do. I mean, there's one in particular in Africa. There's an African pastor who's told the congregation to go crawl in the grass and in the fields and eat grass, and you'll be blessed. And there's one pastor who brought a whole tub in and brought 2 congregation members and had them do what First Lady Sandra and Chauncey were doing, but in front of everybody, to teach them how to.
Really? What? Yeah, it's some crazy stuff. Okay.
Like, just nuts. Like, I mean, you Eric, you will have so much that you can write. There's so much material. There's no shortage of material. There really isn't. And it's sad that people just stay quiet about it. But we live in a day now where people have their phones, so we're seeing more than we would have saw 10 or 20 years ago. Patrick says what happens in the dark always comes to the light. And Sharon says, if you speak up, you'll come up missing.
A lot of times, I feel like a lot of times in cults and in churches where people have reverence for their pastor over God, lots of times those pastors control them by fear of judgment of God.
Yeah.
So they like to use the scriptures like, touch not my
anointed,
do my prophets no harm. And so I think people genuinely want to be pleasing to God. And the thought of him extending wrath upon you for thinking a certain way or speaking a certain way about someone, even though in your gut, they're wrong, but it's like, but I don't want to be judged by God. What if I'm wrong? So lots of times people second guess. It's clear as day. But until your eyes are really opened, you walk under that fear, And so I think that's why a lot of people wouldn't say anything. And then the ones who did, well, yeah, they would have to be dealt with by the deacons, or they would leave and never come back,
And it's so sad, because what is the whole purpose of church, right? And I mean, I'm happy that we have a series like this. I should say, I'm not sad about that. It's just that this is the reality of what's happening now in the churches. And I always say, when I'm exposing them, I always think about the people that are the victims of it, because you have to think about, like, for example, people that are giving all of their money, and you just don't know their financial situation, but they're doing what pastor said to do. Just the other day, I saw one pastor who was telling he wants every congregation member to bring their tax returns so that he can review them to see whether or not, they're paying their tithes as they should be. And it's like, who the heck are you? But I'm sure people would flood and bring it, and that's the thing. It is just really disheartening. It really is. But it has blessed us with this series, which I just, adore. And I adore every character, every storyline. It was just beautiful to watch, and just talented people. And I know it all stems from Eric, your writing, your vision, you and Natasha. And it's just, I can't say enough good things about this series. So I will just ask you all to say why people should watch it.
You should watch Sundays after church because you know church, but you don't know this church.
Ooh, I love that. Hey, tagline. Write it down. Anybody else?
You should watch Sundays after church. It's a lot of powerful messages. A lot of powerful messages for the church and outside of the church. You'll definitely learn a lot. Go watch it. Check us out.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I wanted to show how ruthlessness can be used for good, for the behalf of the community. Everyone on this, every one of these characters has the capability to be very ruthless, but they have a higher goal. It's not extractive. It's not cannibalistic. It's actually to help the community. So to that end, I wanted a story where people can actually see there's nothing wrong with being ruthless. It depends on the reason behind it, because everyone around us is being quite ruthless with what they want. You know,
it's the motive.
Exactly. What's the motive behind it? Are you extracting or are you pouring into people? And what does it take to protect those people that what in the Bible calls sheep? You have to protect those. Those are the children. They don't know. They're you know, so those people that are willing to be ruthless, to make those hard decisions, I wanted to show what that actually looks like from both the masculine and the feminine. So that's why the characters are so strong and what we call on code too, with the goal.
Yeah, and I love that about the Deacon Squad, because the Deacon Squad will deal with people that were doing wrong. And I really liked that. Like, I loved that. Like, I'm going to just play another little trailer clip for everybody to see what I mean when I say that I love the way that, you know, things were handled. Just a little teaser.
And fire up the city. Everything within 2 square miles of the church. Mocking. Real world, our people have been fucked for centuries, and we sit there and take that shit over and over and over again. That time, it's over. Who's gonna need your support?
Pastor Gerald Clayton.
Movement.
Yes, sir.
This is just, how do you guys feel when you see it? Like, first of all, I know a lot of like actors don't like to watch themselves. Like, how do you feel when you see it? Do you guys say to yourself,
Good. I love the slow-mo. We got to do more slow-mo, like you said.
I was just about to say that. You guys already know I love that, because I've already talked about this moreover. I love the moving with Pastor Clayton and just that mean mug and
that second one in the hallway, Ethan, y'all almost didn't want to do that one.
Yeah,
right. I begged for that second one.
Really?
He said, well, I ain't gonna get my slow motion walk down the hall.
I
begged for that one. We gotta do it.
Yeah, that was
you know what?
For 18 hours.
Yeah,
close to 20.
Yeah.
You got to do it now, Eric. And Deacon Ethan and Evans. I need you to do this all the time. Like, wherever the scene calls for it, it's like the best thing. What it does is it really sets it up good. And then it leaves you, I mean, me anyway, hanging on the edge of my chair to see, okay, what's going to happen once he gets where he's going to deal with whoever he's dealing with. It really just sets the stage. I love it. I just love it. I love it.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
From a technical side, when your adrenaline is rushing, everything slows down. That's why I like slow motion.
Oh, that is true. It's true. You see everything in slow-mo. It is so true. It's absolutely true. And we have Teresa. She said, "Good time. Thank you, all of you."
Thank
and,
you.
and she said it brings real, like really, really realistic. Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Yes. Thanks for watching, Teresa.
I would say this is one of my probably the most favorite project that I've done. Every time I watch it, every clip I see, like you say, I feel like, yeah, we did that. Like I try to get as many people as I can to continue to watch this show, and I put out there as much information as I can, because they got to watch this one. I mean, this is one that I think, I mean, it's gonna give you everything. Like we say, you're gonna get romance, you're gonna get drama, you're gonna get some comedy, you're gonna get it all in this show. Like
it's
whatever you're looking for, it's here.
Suspense, shocking twists, you name it. Everything is in there. Everything. And Ty says mine too. So she's saying it's her, her favorite project. And Sharon says, we did that. You sure did.
Absolutely.
This calls for this. Big time.
Thank you.
Big time. I actually am going to go watch it all over again. That's how much I loved it, right? I loved it. And Ty said, this is quality work. Quality work. It really is. It's just really, really stellar. Really stellar.
I get so caught up in it. Like, I'm so proud of everyone on the project. I'm so proud of everyone. And when I watch it, like, I'm watching it as someone who wasn't a part of it. So when people say, oh my gosh, you asked me to watch your show, I thought you were just a little one-liner. The show is about you. And I'm like, is it? Because I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I see it as a collective. This story is about these people in this church, but it is centered around Sandra. But everybody's so fired that it's like, no, it's about us, and I love it. Every time I watch it, I'm so proud of everyone.
I'm so proud of everyone too. And I love the way that, and I said this in our first interview too, is I love the way you go back so that we can see, so then we get a better understanding of the character and why they're the way they are, where they're at today. Like with Pastor Clayton, you got to see, his, and the way his mother was. And it's like, and that's so true to reality, right? Like how you grow up shapes the way that you live your life, and even the way you may treat people or in relationships, unless you're willing to do the work, right? If you need therapy or whatever the case may be. So I really love that we got to see, okay, I understand now why, Sister Sandra's the way she is and what have you. I really, really, I always appreciate when shows are like that, because it really makes you understand. Right. And you're not, it's not guesswork to say, okay, why is he like this? And then you can really have some sort of grace. Right. You have some sort of grace.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted all the characters to be gray, where you can't decide if they're good or bad until that situation. So you're always conflicted. So you're always going to keep watching, like, okay, this week they did something messed up, but then they did something good. And it's like, it's always that swivel.
I know. It's like this love-hate thing that's going on. Okay, I like you today. I don't like you today. You still scare me, AJ. So it's like...
I'm a great guy.
So can you give us any spoilers of what we can expect for season 2?
It's a new war, multiple wars in the church and outside of the church. As he ascends to run for mayor, it's a whole different level of war. So, and then Sandra's got to come up. So everybody's got to evolve, because it's a new threat. So every season it's a new threat. So, and then you get to go deeper into the characters because I have more time. So
Okay, so will there be more flashback scenes where we get to see even more of a story about the characters
a
and
little
why
bit.
they're okay?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, where I can do it because I know people like I know I need to do that with everybody because everyone wants to know where Clutch came from. They want to know where Jackie came from. That
Yes.
so that will be coming out too in little tidbits. So
Yeah, because I'm so invested in every single character. So I'm glad you said that because I really do want to know. Like, I literally feel like these are real people. And it's not you guys because you do such a great job. So it's like I'm invested now. I literally want to know. I want to know who's leaving, who's coming, what's happening. Does he become a mayor? Like what's going to happen? And so I can't wait. And
yeah.
have you already started filming season 2?
No, we just wrote it, but now we just got to get the financing to do season 2. That's where for 8 episodes, but it's already written out, so it's full, long 40, 50-minute episodes. So
I love it.
People
I
are
love it.
complaining about the short episodes, so I heard them. So, but at the end of the day, all the characters are imperfect, but they're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to do good things. So even when the deacon board has to handle business, those are based on real news stories going on around Richmond and different parts of the South where we didn't get justice. And why can't the deacon board do that? And it takes some hard people to get that done sometimes, so.
It does. And the deacon board, they definitely take care of business. Okay.
Yeah.
They take care of business. And it was, again, so well done. So well done. And as I said, and I will say it again, please, more slow-mo. That's all I have to say. Slow-mo. Okay? That's what I want. Yay.
You want to do the opening where everybody does a slow head turn, a slow-mo in the program?
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. That would be the best thing ever. More slow-mo.
Slow head turn, the dramatic head turn. Yeah. Look at the camera. I don't know about that one. You fly. Days of Our Lives or something.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about, the Days of Our Lives.
Oh my gosh, right? Young and the Restless.
Exactly.
They did the slow motion. They're like,
yeah, exactly. Everybody in the cast does that. I'll put it in the contracts. They all got to do
yay.
that.
But definitely when Pastor Clayton is walking and the squad is with him, we need more of that. Please. Yeah. I don't want that to ever go away. Even if part of the squad is gone and a new squad comes, just keep the squad moving slow. Like, I love it. It is literally life-changing. It's just next level. It's the best. What I was going to ask, and I asked this already before, so I'm going to ask again, is what are some of the truths that these churches have going on that is uncomfortably facts?
Everything you see in the series, except for maybe the killing.
That wouldn't surprise me either, man.
Yeah, I know it wouldn't surprise me either. We just don't know about it,
That's the thing, right? Maybe there's a deacon squad that carries that kind of stuff out too.
I mean, you go to some churches. I've been to churches where the deacons in all black and got earpieces, and I can see the person. I'm like,
oh, detail.
Yeah.
Well, if there aren't any like that, there will be after they watch the show.
Yeah.
They definitely
right
in the church.
Yeah, and then
I will say,
Eric, you probably can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a Muslim factor of church that they actually are trained. The deacon, they don't call them deacons.
The fruit of Islam.
Yeah, they're trained. They're trained in hand-to-hand combat and all types of combat. So they dangerous.
Yeah, you don't mess with the fruit of Islam. You never mess with them.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of pastors and deacon boards that their whole security detail that's traveling with the pastors. They got guns. They packing. They all to protect the pastor or whatever. So I've seen that in real life for sure.
And then so And I know
And, they're human beings whose lives are at stake too. So, I mean, they deserve to be protected for sure.
I think
Right.
a little much flossing than anything, because most people don't know who they are. So I think it might be flossing half the time. It's like 5 of them you might know. TD Jake's one of the big ones, but
Jamal Bryant and Marvin Winans, and that's another one too. Like, I mean, are you with season 2? Are you drawing from more pastors and stories from more pastors, like kind of like these mega pastors and stuff like
definitely.
that?
Yeah, they're the archetypes. Yeah, I'm already telling some of the people, like, I need you to act like this guy or this woman. Like Paula White.
Oh,
yeah, that's she's an archetype for me. I'm like, she's perfect.
Oh my gosh, her tongue speaking is like beyond.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. And then more recently with your president, and she was literally comparing him to Jesus. I was just like, barf. But yeah, it's like there's so much, like there's no shortage.
I'm not having to make a whole lot up. I can doom scroll on IG and get most of what I need. Right. That's really where it's at. Like, this okay. And then I can't write fast enough because I'm thinking of some new stuff. And I'm like, dang, that has actually happened. I can't do that now. So it's like, it's been tripping me out. So I'm like, dang. So the information feed is so fast now. But these pastors, like one of them I know, when he travels, he has concubines to travel with him. They're called pastors' partners.
Wow.
So, so that's how blatant this stuff is. So he's got his little concubines that roll with him. I'm like, all right, so okay, where's the money for the church? We don't know where that is. So that's all around us. So
when the pastor's partners.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pay for that room and board and hotel and whatever. Yeah. So it's a lot of that.
And this is why people don't go to church. Like even the sinners are like, what am I going there for? It's no different than what's outside. So
the strip joint. I told people I've learned everything I know about church. I learned from going to the strip joint. I told people that it's the same stuff. So, and I told my uncle who's a pastor, his jaw dropped. I'm like, in my line? Come on, man. In my line. And he couldn't say anything.
Wow.
The stripper's going to tell you you're great. Come as you are. You're great. There's nothing wrong with you. I love you. It's just like church. You don't have to change.
Well, I mean, and if you think about it, this has been going when you think of Tammy Faye Baker, whatever, and Jimmy Swaggart, who got busted in hotel rooms or motel rooms. And I mean, it's been going on.
Yeah.
It's just the difference now is you can see it on social media. It's on the highlight reel all day, every day. And all you got to do is click on one and then it's in your algorithms. Yeah. So there's like, you're literally, I know because I do a lot of exposing. I don't have to look. As soon as I open it, it's there for me. So there's just like, there's so much. We have a commenter that said this is an outstanding group. I agree. Michael Hollingsworth says, greetings, Emma and people in the chat. Greetings. And Lakeisha Blackshire says, really want the backstory on Chauncey.
So we're going to have to give him the prison workout video of him working out in jail.
Yes, because he did talk about, he said that Pastor Clayton, you owe him, Pastor Clayton. And that scene was really good. Okay. Because, and the thing that I liked about that scene, without spoiling it too much, is that I wasn't expecting Pastor Clayton to win. The battle.
Yeah. In the office.
In the office, yes. I'm trying that. I wasn't expecting it because, sexual chocolate is all ripped and diesel and all that good stuff. So
yeah, don't sleep on Pastor Clayton. That's all.
I'm telling you.
Hey, I hope he's still on the chat. Them show muscles, man. Them
Oh my gosh, you guys, this has been an absolute treat. I will just say in closing that just tell everybody again where we can see Sundays After Church and again why they need to tune in. I will tell my part too.
Yeah, I mean you can catch it Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and IndieTube, which is a independent streaming platform.
And if you're not watching it, you're really missing out, family. You need to watch this. I'm telling you, you're going to, and what I expect you to do, here's the challenge. When you watch it, I expect you to send me an email or something telling me what you thought of it. Like, let us know. Give us feedback. We want to hear about it. Listen to me. I'm talking like I'm part of the cast because I feel like I am anyway.
You are.
We need everybody's support.
It's like, like we want to know. Tell us. Send me an email. My information is there. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me, your favorite parts. We want to know all about this. And Patrick says, ha, 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 ha.
Because we really want people to support us because we can go forward. We're all independent, and a lot of the independent voices are what's going to keep making film now that Hollywood is consolidated with the Paramount buyout of Warner Brothers. They're already cutting back on the DEI type of Black films getting greenlit. So that's already being cut, and they're already cutting a lot of the shows out of California. So the independent space is where these shows are going to be made, where you don't have one-dimensional Black characters that play a pimp or a hoe, a prostitute, drug addict or a drunk, and you have layers, and that's really all you get out of Hollywood. And they're cutting that flow of what they're even going to put out. So support us, help us do this. We want to keep going. I want to do 8 seasons of Sundays After Church. So
wow,
that's the goal, that's the vision. Right. So I need the independent support to make that happen, and I can keep going, keep everybody working, because I can keep these people working year round if I have the revenue. I keep them just busy, just shooting. That's it. So,
and it really, we need more than 8 seasons. I mean, there's so much. It just needs to go on. And I would like to also see like a movie.
That's how it started. But then we were like, we got too much.
So it just became a series, right? Yeah. Like it's so good, family. Ty says you need to watch it because Deacon Clutch said so. Yes, if Deacon Clutch says to watch. Mm-hmm. He's scary. So is AJ over here, Deacon Blackman. And Deacon Evan. All the deacons.
Yeah. Oh, and then you forgot Cooper. Cooper, you haven't had him on yet. We got to get him on.
We're gonna do more. We're gonna be like flies in your face, family. There's gonna be interviews upon interviews, so just stay tuned so you can catch up with the cast. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep promoting it. Support independent film, TV. I mean, it's good work. It's really, really good work. So we really, really need you to support and watch it. Again, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, IndieTube, and we're going to get it in more. We got to keep this going. This is a really, really stellar production, series, cast, crew. I can't say enough good things. I really can't. But I will try to stop talking now. And thank you all for taking the time to spend an hour and 18 minutes with me. So we will definitely do it again. Thank you to all the viewers. And as I said, go watch it. Reach out to me. Tell me what you thought. We want to know. And then also, if we got to put together a petition, whatever we got to do to make sure season 2 happens, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. God knows. So let's just make it happen. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And we'll see you all again.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody. God bless.